Hi everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be my eyeshadow palette collection declutter. Alright, here we go. I recently mentioned that I was going to be kicking off a declutter series. I haven't done an actual declutter series in quite some time, and I'm ready to get back into it. I just feel like my makeup collection has gotten out of hand once again. I did a lot of ranking videos in 2019. I can link that playlist, and I was having a really fun time ranking everything. I recently did a full face of my least ranked makeup, and I was kind of waiting to do that sort of finale video to start actually decluttering products once again, because I was holding on to a few things, you know, for that full face of least ranked makeup video. But I am ready to get into the declutter series. I know a lot of you said you were really excited for it, and I'm looking forward to it as well. I also did a video recently. It was my project pan for 2020, but I also kind of explained that I've had a bit of a mindset change when it comes to makeup and how much makeup I'm keeping, and kind of changing almost my hoarding mentality that I had with makeup. And honestly, it's a lot. I am in the process of reorganizing my office. I've been getting some new desks, some new furniture. I got a vanity, a new shelf, and as I'm moving around my makeup collection to, you know, set up the new products, and I just see how much I have, I'm like, you know, we really need to do a declutter, get rid of some of the products that truly have dust on them because I'm not using them enough. Obviously I have a lot of makeup because of what it is that I do, but I do think it's important, at least for me, to go through and declutter every once in a while. So that is what we're going to be doing today. Again, this is my eyeshadow palette collection. Per usual with my declutters, anything that is newer to me or I'm still testing out or I haven't reviewed yet on my channel is not going to be included in here, because I will be keeping it, because I will be obviously reviewing it. Actually, you know what? This ColourPop Good as Gold palette, where am I? My ColourPop Good as Gold palette, I actually haven't reviewed this, so this shouldn't even be in here because I have only used this one maybe 2 times. This is one of my newer palettes from ColourPop. I did purchase this one. It was calling to me, but I am going to keep this one because I do want to review it. And I will say, for my ColourPop palettes as we go along, I know that I'm actually going to go ahead and keep all of them. I have been asked several times to do a updated ranking all of my ColourPop palettes. So I did ranking all of my ColourPop palettes a while back, and I've had quite a few comments coming in of people asking if I would do an updated one. So when I see a ColourPop palette, I am going to go ahead and pull that to the side because I do want to do an updated ranking, and then maybe in that ranking video I will do some decluttering of my lower palettes. But just pulling out some of these here from ColourPop, you will be seeing them in a video soon on here too. This is the Flutterby palette. See this one here from Huda Beauty. I don't know why I keep thinking my camera is in a different spot, but this is the Carroll Obsessions palette. I am actually going to go ahead and declutter this one. I really do like a lot of the Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes. There's going to be quite a few that I am going to keep around, but the Carroll Obsessions, I just really, I don't know. I mean, you can see like it really doesn't even look very used. I just didn't get on with this one a ton, and some of these colors in here I like better in other palettes, so that is going to go in my pass pile. I do typically do like not a timer, but like a graphic on the screen of how many I've kept and how many I decluttered. I'm not going to include the ColourPop in there since I'm keeping all the ColourPop. This one from Huda Beauty, this is the Smoky Obsessions. This was one of my first ones from her, and this one I really enjoy. Okay, this shade I pressed back into place not too long ago, and then it shattered once again because it's almost like I'm going to use that shadow up, I'm pretty sure. So I was kind of sad that it broke once again, but I really enjoy this palette. I've used it so often. I've taken it traveling with me quite a bit. Like I said, I really do like these palettes from Huda Beauty, so I am going to keep that one. And then also from Huda, this is the Mauve Obsessions. This is another one that I really, really love. I am going to keep this one too. I know I'm going to declutter some from Huda Beauty, and also in my full face of least ranked makeup, I did a little declutter at the end, and I did declutter the, which one was it? The Emerald Obsessions. This is from Violet Voss. This is the Holy Grail palette. I still really like this palette. I still don't want to give this one away. You know, sometimes I know like it's my makeup collection and it's my declutter and all of that, but sometimes I feel like I have to justify why I'm either keeping something or getting rid of it. But I just still really like this palette. I still recommend it. See another ColourPop palette, the Orangey Glad. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my little ColourPop pile. Okay, I see some here from Dose of Colors. I am a really big fan of Dose of Colors. I have quite a few palettes from them. I feel like this isn't all. Okay, here's the Pretty Cool. So this might be all that I have from Dose of Colors. Definitely the Marvelous Mauves is a favorite of mine. I have actually hit pan in that palette, which I'm very proud of. I think it'd be really cool to, if I could like use up the entire eyeshadow, that would make me pretty happy. I'm definitely going to keep Marvelous Mauves. Okay, Baked Browns. I really do like Baked Browns. Let me look at Baked Browns versus Pretty Cool. You know, I just really do like the Dose of Colors formula. You do get quite a bit of kick up in the palette, but I think that they're really easy to use on the eyes and really easy to blend. I feel like definitely Baked Browns offers you a little bit more of a selection. I said I was going to try to be a little bit more ruthless in this declutter, but again, I just like the Dose of, like, I like Dose of Colors as a brand. I like their eyeshadow formula. I'm going to keep those. And then lastly, we have the Sassy Siennas. You know, this is just kind of a fun one. Like I said with the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions, like I like these colors. I have green eyes. I know you can't see me, but hello, I have green eyes. And I think these colors look really good with them. So I'm going to keep that one too. I'm going to do it. Urban Decay Naked Palette. Keep this one because this is just kind of one of those like OG eyeshadow palettes of YouTube. It is very, very, very lightly used, and even though I know I have a lot of friends that would love to take this one in particular from me, it's the original Naked. Like I want to keep it, okay? So this one here from Urban Decay, this is the Game of Thrones palette. I've talked about this one. I mean, obviously I have reviewed it on my channel. I've talked about it a little bit too, and you know, I did the ranking of all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried in 2019 video. I can link that one too. I just didn't really love this one. It wasn't a favorite of mine. I don't watch Game of Thrones. This packaging is just like really big and bulky. The shade selection didn't really call to me, so that one is going to go in my pass pile. Same with the Urban Decay Shortcut. I do have quite a few palettes from Urban Decay. I am on their PR list, so I do get some. I don't get every single package from them, but I do get some PR from them, and I have other palettes that I definitely for sure know that I want to keep. The Shortcut palette, while I tend to gravitate towards smaller palettes and all of that, this was one that I tend not to reach for very much, and this was one where like I literally had dust on it, and that makes me really embarrassed. So I'm going to put that one in my declutter pile as well. This one here is from MAC Cosmetics. This one is their Flameboyant palette. It's a pretty palette, but again, I had it in my ranking video and it was a little bit lower on the scale there. I just don't feel like the quality really blows me away. The shade selection in here, I definitely have with other palettes also, so I'm going to declutter that one. Dose of Colors, this is the Friendcation palette in collaboration with Desi and Katie. Still continue to really enjoy this palette. It's actually in my current Shop My Stash bag. That video just went up I think yesterday on my channel, picking out a new Shop My Stash bag, so definitely going to be keeping this one. On to this palette here from Sam Marcel. This is their Luxurious Eyeshadow palette. I don't mind the formula in here. The shade selection isn't anything that like blows me away, but there's definitely products that I like more from them. They actually have a really nice eyeliner, mascara, even they have a highlight palette, which I really like the quality in there too. So for the eyeshadow palette, I can see so many of my friends really gravitating towards this. I also have a lot of neutral lovers in my life too, and I think that someone would really get a lot more use out of this palette than I am. So that is going in the pass pile. This one here is from Almar Cosmetics. This is their Reina del Caribe Eyeshadow Palette Volume 1. Please don't make fun of me for the way that I said that, because I know I don't have a cool accent. This palette here, I am going to go ahead and keep this one. This is my only eyeshadow palette from Almar Cosmetics. Again, sometimes being in YouTube, there are certain palettes, I mean, obviously like all the ColourPop ones that I'm keeping for a ranking video, but there's certain palettes, or if I only own one from a brand, I do like to keep them around just to have them for reference for me, for my job. It just helps me out. But also, This is a really beautiful eyeshadow palette. I haven't tried a ton from Almar Cosmetics, but I feel like what I've tried tends to impress me, so that will be sticking with me. This here is from Sydney Grace. This is their Autumn's Rain palette. So Sydney Grace is an indie brand, and I was really impressed with the quality of this eyeshadow palette. It's a little bit larger, and the shade selection doesn't necessarily like make me want to jump for joy, but I still really like it. I like the quality inside here, and yeah, this is the only palette that I have from Sydney Grace, so I will be keeping this one. This here is from Tati Beauty. This is the Textured Neutrals Volume 1 palette. I am definitely going to be keeping this one. I've talked about this quite a bit on my channel. I'm a really big fan of it. Also love the mirror in this one. I have, in the process of moving everything, I have lost one of my little handheld mirrors, and a lot of times when I'm getting ready during the day, I keep pulling out this palette and using the mirror because it's pretty fantastic. I have this one here from Juvia's Place. This is the Decay palette. I know I have kept this one through so many declutters and I've been like, this one is just my favorite Juvia's Place palette, and I do really like it. I do have some newer ones from Juvia's Place, ones that I don't think I've even reviewed yet on my channel, like maybe the Nomad palette is in here, but I like the Juvia's Place eyeshadow formula, but I don't lose my mind over it, and I haven't gone into this one in quite some time. Again, the shade selection is not totally me, and there's some shades in here that I just don't really go for a ton, so I think the time has finally come for me to say goodbye to it. Again, I'm trying to do a better job of cutting down my collection the best I can, because I can't keep, like, I'm running out of places to like organize my collection, and I think I'm gonna be okay with that. Yes. Okay, the Natasha Denona Mini Nude eyeshadow palette. I actually don't really like this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the declutter pile. I'm just kidding. This is like my favorite eyeshadow palette, and I've even hit pan on that shade, which I'm very proud of, so that was just a joke. If you guys are, you know, have been hanging around my channel for a while, you probably got it. But I'm gonna keep that one, okay? Okay. Alright, so let's see, where should I go next? Alright, this one here. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Riviera palette. I now actually have two of these palettes because I received one in my Beautylish Lucky Bag, which, yikes. But this one, I am going to declutter. This one, the shade selection isn't really me. I purchased this one myself because I used to do that thing where I would purchase like almost every single one of Anastasia palettes that came out, but then they released 50,000 in 2019, and I was like, oh no, I can't keep up. This was the last palette that I purchased before they just kept releasing so many new palettes, and I probably shouldn't have, because I just knew the shade selection wasn't totally me, so I am going to be putting this one in my declutter pile. Alright, the Norvina palette though, I really do like the Norvina from Anastasia. I like those purples in there. I like the shade selection. I do like Anastasia's formula. I get along with it pretty well. It's not always the easiest to work with, but I feel like if I am just cognizant that I'm using the Anastasia palettes, I can get on with them pretty well. So I'm going to keep the Norvina. Here is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette. I got this one as a gift so many years ago, and I'm so excited about it. And I like the palette. I like the shades in here, but I really haven't reached for it in a while. I don't really go into my Morphe eyeshadow palettes a ton anymore. And I know Kathleen Lights does a lot of collabs with ColourPop. She's one of my favorites, and I've bought a lot of her collabs. I have palettes and blushes and all of that, so I think that it's okay for it to be the time to go ahead and declutter this one. I mean, that one also has the dust on it. Like, that's just not good. That's just not good, but I feel like it's okay for me to let go of this one. This is the Too Faced Pretty Rich palette. I mean, you know, really cool packaging on it and everything. A lot of fun. There's some glitters in here and all of that, but not really a favorite formula wise for me. I don't really love the bulky packaging. As someone who like tries to be aware of her makeup collection and how I'm storing and organizing it, this one can kind of throw it through a bit of a loop, and My sister is a really big fan of glitters, so she might really like this palette. So I think I might send this one to Gina and see if she likes it. I think that she would like the vibe of this too. So that is going to go in my pass pile. Here is from Lawless Beauty. This is the little one eyeshadow palette. I'm a big fan of the formula in here. I actually like the bigger one from Lawless. One, so you have the one and the little one. I kind of gravitate more towards the one, which is kind of shocking because I am a fan of the smaller palettes, but I really like both. I'm a fan of the brand for sure, so I'm going to go ahead and keep both of these. Huda Beauty, this is one of her larger palettes, the New Nude palette. I talked about this one recently. It was in my previous Shop My Stash bag, so when I come back to pick a new bag, I do review all the products. So I mentioned this one, and I said that I do like it. I just feel like I do a lot of the same looks with it over and over again, but I still like it. It's not an absolute favorite. I just don't want to give it up yet, so I'm going to keep it. Here is from Sigma Beauty. This is the Wildflower palette. Okay, I enjoyed this palette so much when I first got it. I had face shades in here and eye shades in here. You could like mix and match and whatnot, and I liked this one so much, but truly I haven't reached for it in forever. Sigma's come out with some newer palettes that I really, really enjoy, so for that reason, I am going to declutter this one. This one here is from Karity. This is their Rose All Day palette. This was a really pretty palette. This one here from Karity though, this is the Picante. I still continue to like the Picante even more, even though you have so many shades in here, but I feel like this is kind of strange for me. With my makeup preferences, I really love pink and purple. I would think that I would want to keep this one, but I know that looking at these two, I just am more drawn to the Picante, so I'm going to keep this one and declutter this one. I have these ones here from ColourPop. These are both in collaboration with I Love Sarah E. And I mean, these are like some old school ColourPop, but again, these are going to be set aside for that ranking video. Okay, this here is another one from Huda Beauty. This is the Amethyst, the Amethyst Obsessions. So I don't love these palettes as much as I did kind of the original Obsessions from Huda Beauty. Just whatever, the ones in the Gemstone collection I just don't feel like are as nice. And I do have It's My Pleasure from ColourPop, and I feel like this one is pretty darn similar. And I like the ColourPop one more. I'm pretty sure I've done a video of like dupes for high-end makeup, and I think I talked about these two. So again, you know that I'm going to keep the ColourPop one. I'm pulling those to the side, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. I just don't like the quality as much, and I know I'm not really reaching for it. So, but this one here is the Warm Brown Obsession. So this one was kind of in that like first batch that came out that I just think is great. Really like this one. I like these. They're nice and easy, like on the go and all of that. So going to keep that one. From Huda Beauty, this one is the Dream Street from ColourPop, so keeping that one, but that's a favorite that was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. Here is a little one from Marc Jacobs. This is one of the Style Icon palettes. So it's just this little like baby, this little baby palette with these 3 different shades in here, but I don't know what it is. I remember when I pulled it out and I saw it, I was like, oh yes, I do remember this one. And I had this feeling of like, I should declutter it. No, I don't want to. Like I had that like drop in my stomach, like, no, they're gonna make me want to declutter this palette. But I don't know why, I don't know what it is. Does anyone else get that feeling over makeup? But I want to keep this one from Marc Jacobs. Marc Jacobs is a very expensive brand, and I don't like everything from the brand. There, like, there's definitely misses for me, but it's just one of those that tends to catch my eye over and over and over again, and I just want to keep that one. Oh, same with this one here. This is the Stiletto. This is a really nice palette. I don't reach into it as much as I probably could, but the mattes in here especially are beautiful. So I'm gonna keep this one too from Marc Jacobs. I just like would not be able to part with it. If you've made it this far, if you're still here, if you're still interested, I'm gonna do something big. I'm gonna do something big right here. You ready? I'm going to declutter this one. I pulled it out. It was literally the farthest back in my closet because if you caught any of my moving vlogs after we came to our new house, I was storing some of the products in my closet, like the products that I just don't reach for as much. This was in like the farthest back corner that you could get and had dust on it, and I saw it and I was like, the time has come. I've had this palette. This was in collaboration with Lorac and Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast. This was so, like, I just loved everything about this, and it's made it through a few declutters, and I just was saying, you know, I can't, like, I can't part with it yet. But, like, you know how they say, like, when you know, you know. I know now that it is okay for me to pass this on to someone else who's going to just love it as much as I did. So I'm going to declutter it. That's a big moment for me. That's a big moment, but hopefully that shows how, like, I really am trying to get this in line here. Okay, let's go ahead and scoot things over a little bit, but since I grabbed this one, I'm going to go ahead and keep the Carly Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I love Carly Bible. Big fan of this palette. Again, I do like a lot of Anastasia palettes, so I'm going to keep that one. This one here is from Charlotte Tilbury. This was one of the holiday releases. This is the Stars in Your Eyes palette, and I'm trying to think of which. I think it was either maybe like 2 years ago. I do have the newer, the new Pillow Talk one that came out. I just got that one recently. I still like this one. There was another one that I'm pretty sure I decluttered. I want to say it was maybe a little bit darker, but I still like this one. These are very pricey palettes from Charlotte. You guys might know she's one of my friends, so I'm going to keep this one around. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one. I feel good about that. Okay. So I know that I have quite a few from Mavie Cosmetics. So they were a newer brand, and they did send me quite a few products at one point, and these were the palettes that I kept, and I like them. I would recommend the brand. They have a handful of different products, and I definitely would recommend checking them out if you haven't, but I don't feel like I need to keep all 4 anymore. So let me just, oh, Los Angeles, that's a cool one, but I don't know how much I'm going to reach into that, so probably not. I think Paris was one of my, yeah, I really liked Paris. I like those pinks, but the, like, random green, I don't do greens a ton, but that one's more of a maybe. Stockholm, no, I feel like I could declare that one. And then Hong Kong. You know what? Okay, so I was kind of, was it LA? You know, I think I'm okay. No, I think I'm okay. I'm going to declutter these 3, and I am going to keep Paris. I knew, like, even without opening them, I was like, I remember that Paris was my favorite out of the bunch, so I'm going to keep Paris and then declutter these 3 from Mavie Cosmetics. Okay. The Urban Decay and Naked Reloaded. This one is a favorite of mine. I'm a big fan. Definitely going to keep this one. This here is from Sigma Beauty. This was the collaboration with Beauty Bird. So very big palette. You got the 2 highlight shades on either side. I mean, you can use them as eyeshadows too. You know, I do like this one a lot from Sigma, but where is, oh yeah, the Enchanted palette, literally right in front of me. I really do like the Enchanted palette, and I just don't know if I really need to keep both, because it's not like they're super similar to one another, but, like, you know, and the Beauty Bird palette is definitely a lot bigger. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and declutter the Sigma and Beauty Bird, the Dream palette. Still really beautiful. Again, I don't know if it's available anymore, but I mean, I would recommend it if it is, but for me, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best here, but I am going to keep the Enchanted. I really, really like this one. This here is from The Balm. This is Meet Matte Schmaker. I think this is still the only one that I have from The Balm, so I am going to go ahead and keep this around. I do like it though. I like the quality in here. I like the different shades. I do have this little quad from Charlotte Tilbury. This is Supersonic Girl Luxury Pop of Palettes. You know, I'm truly not the biggest fan of these quads. I think a lot of times the price just still really gets to me. I think these are like $53 for the 4 shades, which that is very expensive, but I'm still going to keep this one. Charlotte Tilbury is another one of those brands, like Charlotte Tilbury, Marc Jacobs. It's just harder for me to part with them, you know, so I am going to keep that one. I have some here from Anastasia, the Modern Renaissance and the Soft Glam. I am still going to go ahead and keep these around. I still do go in the Soft Glam quite a bit. I honestly don't go into the Modern Renaissance as much, so I thought about it, but it's still one of those palettes that, like, this is the palette that, you know, kind of started my Anastasia craze. So again, it's my makeup collection, it's my declutter. That's what I want to do. I'm going to keep it. Trying not to like justify my actions so much, but you know, sometimes you also have to be like justifying it to yourself as you're going along and you're like, oh no, I am making a good decision. I have some ones from Jaclyn Hill and Morphe. So these were the Vault collection. So these were the 4 smaller palettes that she did. So I think this one was Ring the Alarm, and then we have, oh, I can't remember, Bling Boss I think was the purple one. Let's see how good of a YouTuber I am. Oh, nope, this one is escaping me. What is this one called? Dark Magic? Yeah, Dark Magic. Also Armed and Gorgeous. 2 for 4, 2 for 4, okay. All right, I don't really know if I need to keep all of these because I do have the big Jaclyn Hill palette too, which I am still a fan of. I didn't get the second palette. I really didn't feel like I needed it, but especially because I said with the second palette that came out, I felt like I could see the breakdown of these 4 palettes in here. So I know that I want to keep the larger one. You know, at the time that I received this, this holds a lot of really good memories for me. This was sent to me from Morphe and Jaclyn. It meant a lot to me. I cried when I got this one, and I still hold a lot of really good memories with this. So I am going to keep that one, but I was trying to decide if I really want to keep all 4, but you know, I think for right now, I think it's something about it being like a part of this collection, and I still have the box because this was also actually sent to me and I still hold on to good memories for me. So I'm going to keep these for right now. These might make it into a declutter maybe like the next round, but I want to keep them, so I am going to. Getting down there. Okay, okay. I have some here from Persona. So these are the different Persona palettes I have. I have this little pink one here, this little 5-pan palette. I also have the Identity palette, so the original Identity, and then also the Identity 2. I'm a big fan of Persona Cosmetics. I think they just do things so well over there. The releases, the quality. I would say out of these, I really honestly don't reach into this 5-pan a ton, but I do love the pinks. And again, I'm just a fan of the brand. I just don't want to get rid of anything, so I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and keep those. This is from Viseart. This is the Warm Mattes palette. This is my only palette, right? Yes, this is my only palette from Viseart, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. All right. The Natasha Denona Gold palette, I am also going to keep this one. This was gifted to me and is an extremely generous gift. I like to tell the story. I got this around the time that we had our house for sale and we would have to leave for like the different showings and everything in open houses, and I would take this palette with me. You know, it's like, take things that are important to you or whatever. I was like, I'm taking the Natasha Denona Gold. So I am going to keep that one. I see the California Love from ColourPop, so I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. Oh, also the Smoke Show, which this has actually been renamed. This is now, I believe it's now called the Blowing Smoke palette. I think there might have been a trademark issue with Smoke Show, but this is still available on the website, but going to keep that one. All right, I have some palettes from Dominique Cosmetics. Wait, is it all? Do I only have the 2? I don't know why I thought I had more than just 2 from Dominique Cosmetics, but I have the Latte palette, which was the first one, and then also Berries and Cream. Big fan of the shade selection in here. I really do like both of these. I'm a fan of the formula from Dominique Cosmetics, so I'm going to keep those. This little one here from Natasha Denona, this is the Mini Sunset palette. I like this one, but really it was the Mini Nude that got me like all up in my feels. I don't know if it maybe just is the shade selection, but I still do like this one. I am going to keep this one from Natasha. I like these little small palettes. This one from Kaja Beauty. This is one of my fairly newer ones as well. This is in Glowing Guava, so we have the 3 shades here. Really nice and travel friendly too. I don't reach for it as much because something about 3 shades is almost like not enough for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep this around for the time being. All right, to this one here from Juvia's Place, the Nomad palette. This is one of my newer ones, and I did declutter the Douce. I think I'm going to keep this one for right now. Again, kind of newer to me, so sometimes when things are just a little bit newer, like I just, you know, don't want to let go yet. So I'm going to keep that one. The last little bit here. This one here is from NARS. This is the Ignite It palette. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. it's just, I don't absolutely love it. I don't reach for it a ton. NARS definitely comes out with quite a few new releases too, a lot of collections, so I feel okay passing that one on. This one from Becca Cosmetics, this is the Volcano Goddess palette. This was a really pretty palette. I didn't mind the quality, but I feel like this was one that I wish was maybe just amped up a little bit. Like, I felt like the shade selection didn't quite match the like outer packaging. I don't know. So I'm also going to put that in my declutter pile. Okay, this one from BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible. This is the deluxe edition. Oh, I loved this one so much. I had the original one. I ended up decluttering it because I did also have this one, which was bigger, more eyeshadow shades, more highlighters. I really don't go into it as much, and I did keep my Carly and ABH palette, so I like that formula more. So I am going to declutter this one. This is a little bit hard for me, but I am going to declutter it. Honestly, I haven't decluttered as much as I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to be, and I feel like I'm being I feel like I'm being kind of hard on myself. The Dream palette, the Beauty and the Beast palette, now Carly Bible, like I feel like I've been being tough on myself, but all right. Let's keep it going though. Anastasia Sultry palette, definitely keeping this one. Big fan of this one. It came very highly ranked in all of my 2019 wrap-up video. These here from Urban Decay, we have the Naked Cherry and also the Naked Honey. Big fan of these palettes as well. Definitely want to keep these from Urban Decay. This here, I have two from Stellazzi. We have the Stellar and the Spellbound. I think I'm just going to keep one of these. Yeah, I'm just going to keep one. And I'm going to keep the Stellar palette, which is more of the cool toned one here on top. That is the one that I'm going to keep. I am going to declutter the Spellbound. I like the quality in here, but I'm going to do it that way, especially because the Spellbound really does remind me of the Urban Decay Born to Run, and I am going to keep this one. Still a fan of this. All right. Next up, this here is from Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Temptation. So this is the 6-pan here. I am going to keep this one. Again, probably, I know this one is like super expensive. It was gifted to me and I like nearly fell over in shock, and it's just lovely. So I'm going to keep this one from Pat, and then also from Pat McGrath. This one I did purchase myself. This is the Eye Ecstasy Sublime palette. This one is, you know, a lot less expensive than the other one I showed you, and you can probably tell packaging wise. 5 shades in here, but I think that these are really nice shades, and this first one here is just like absolutely beautiful, so I do want to keep around this one. Okay, 4 more left. I can do this. This here from Violet Voss, this is the Flamingo eyeshadow palette. I feel like I have really enjoyed this palette. It's more, I feel like it's one of my few colorful palettes that I really enjoy keeping around. I had it in a Shop to My Stash and I really did enjoy it. I think I'm going to keep it. I thought I was going to declutter it, but truly, I still get joy from this. So I'm going to keep it. Too Faced, this is the Hot Buttered Rum palette. I bought this over holiday time. I still like this one. Yeah, I'm a fan of the mini palettes. I like the shades inside. Still think it's pretty good, so I'm going to keep that. From Sigma, the Warm Neutrals Volume 2. This is just kind of like a, this is just a good palette. When I think of like the Sigma palettes, this is kind of one of those like classics that I come back to. I've used this quite a bit and I think the shades in here are really nice. I know I kept the Enchanted one, but I am also going to keep this one. And then lastly, I have this one here from Estee Lauder. This is the Bronze Goddess palette. This is a nice palette, but again, looking at it, I know I have a lot of people that I think would really get on with this one. I haven't reached for it as much, you know, more of a more neutral palette, which I definitely kept quite a bit around in my collection. And I know Estee Lauder does come out with kind of these collections quite a bit too. I know they just came out with a new one for 2020. So final palette, I'm going to put it in my declutter pile. We have done it. We are done. Let me pull everything out. We will see how we did. The declutter has come to an end. I have my keep pile on this side and my declutter pile on the other. This is my keep pile. I'm keeping, I believe it's 54. I'll have the numbers on the screen just in case I count it wrong. In my hurry to get everything up, my camera's at 8% battery, so we gotta keep going. So keeping a 54 and decluttering 22. So I feel like I didn't declutter as many quantity wise as I thought I was going to. I genuinely, when I started this, I was like pumped up and ready to go. But as I look over everything that I kept, I really don't see anything that I'm like, you know, maybe that could go in the pass pile. Like, I'm really happy with everything I kept, and even though I didn't declutter as many palettes as I thought I would number wise, I know I'm still decluttering ones that I just really don't use as much anymore and that just truly aren't getting love in my collection, and I know I can pass them on to others who can. So I feel really happy with this. You know, after my declutters, I like to look around at what I kept and see, is there anything that I feel like I should move over? And I really don't. I want to keep everything that I kept, and I'm happy with this. You know, definitely it's still a larger collection, but I'm happy. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this declutter. I will have my playlist link down below. You obviously saw that I do have quite a few ColourPop palettes, so if you do want to see that ranking video real soon, let me know and I could definitely get it on my list to do it ASAP. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one and seeing a new declutter for me. Let me know what category you would like to see next for my declutter series, because I really do want to keep going on this one. I hope that you enjoyed it though. If you did, make sure to give this one a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.